Most people picture Goa as an endless stretch of sun-drenched beaches, late-night parties, and colorful Portuguese architecture. But venture into the village of Shirgao in the dead of night, and you'll find thousands of men, dressed entirely in white, sprinting barefoot across a massive trench of glowing, smoking coals. Contrast that intense heat with a scene happening just miles away in the town of Mapusa. Inside the quiet stone walls of St. Jerome's church, Hindu devotees pour golden coconut oil over the feet of a Virgin Mary statue. On paper, these are entirely separate rituals, two distinct religions operating in two different villages, honoring two different divine figures. Yet the local Goan population treats them as a single, unified tradition. The fire-walking goddess of Shirgao and the Catholic saint venerated in Mapusa are actually worshipped by the locals as biological sisters. This connection between a fire-walking goddess and a Catholic saint suggests that Goa's religious lines aren't as rigid as they appear, and that a single family legend might be the only thing holding these two worlds together. The story begins centuries ago in the sprawling hills of the Western Ghats. According to local folklore, 7 divine sisters and their youngest brother rode down from these mountains on a giant elephant to settle in Goa. When the family arrived at their new home, the eldest sister sent the young brother, Khetoba, out to fetch fire so they could cook a meal. But Khetoba wandered into a nearby village, became utterly captivated by a group of children playing games, and completely forgot his critical task. Hours passed. When his sister Lairai finally tracked him down and saw him playing instead of returning with the fire, her temper flared. She kicked him with such force that it permanently disfigured his spine. Seeing her brother injured, Lairai was immediately consumed by guilt. To atone for her violent outburst, she made a solemn vow. She would walk barefoot over burning coals as an eternal penance. This familial feud is the exact reason those thousands of men sprint across the glowing trench in Shirgao today. They are physically recreating Lairai's ancient, guilt-driven vow. Following the argument, the siblings scattered. Another sister, Mirabai, chose to settle in the bustling town of Mapusa, where locals built a temple to honor her. That temple stood until 1594, when Portuguese colonizers took control of Mapusa. They aggressively dismantled the Hindu site. Right over the rubble, they constructed St. Jerome's church. The physical architecture of the colonizer dominated the skyline, but the local devotion refused to vanish. To protect their deity from the Inquisition, the Goan people created a psychological loophole. They adapted the family folklore, quietly spreading the story that Mirabai never left the site. Instead, they claimed she had undergone a Catholic conversion. Under the watchful eyes of the Portuguese, Mirabai was reborn. She took on a new, officially sanctioned identity, Our Lady of Miracles, or Milagres Saibinn. By grafting the story of Mirabai onto the figure of a Catholic saint, the community ensured their goddess remained present in Mapusa, even as the temple that once housed her was replaced by stone and mortar. This historical adaptation evolved into a living tradition. The bond between the fire-walking Lairai and the newly Catholic Mirabai requires an active, physical exchange of diplomacy between the two religious institutions. During Lairai's annual fire festival, the Catholic parish in Mapusa prepares a tribute. They send baskets of fresh, fragrant jasmine, known locally as mogra, straight to the Hindu temple in Shirgao. In return, the Hindu temple prepares its own tribute for the Feast of Our Lady of Miracles. They send large vessels of pure, sacred coconut oil back to the Catholic Church to anoint the statue of the Virgin Mary. The communities take this relationship so seriously that a local superstition governs the calendar. If the sisters' respective festival days happen to fall on the exact same date, the locals view it as a disastrous omen, believing it means the sisters are unable to visit one another. Over centuries, this blending of figures has created a society where stepping into a church with a Hindu offering or a temple with a Catholic blessing is completely normal. The relationship between Lairai and Milagres Saibinn suggests that in Goa, faith isn't defined by the building you stand in, but by the ancient family ties that keep a community sending jasmine and oil across town, long after the mountains they came from have faded from memory.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below. Radhe Radhe.